Hello everyone and welcome to another card video. Today, my daughter asked me for a card, a baby shower card for her boyfriend's sister, who is also one of my best friend's daughters. She said she wanted a dragon on it because it is the year of the dragon. So I had to go back in my stash to find a dragon. I thought I had a lot more dragons, but I must have given them away over the years. So I ended up using Neat and Tangled and Sweet Stamp Shop stamps to create this hair, to create this baby shower card that was a commission from my daughter. So let me show you how I made it.
The sets that I've used are way old and you can't buy them anymore. I'm really sorry. But that's why we call it a stash, a collection of images that we've truly enjoyed. I'm stamping this dragon image onto Arteza watercolor paper with Ranger Jet Black ink. I also created a mask using Avery repositionable label adhesive to mask off this dragon, to ink blend a little background mojo. I'm using Versamagic chalk inks. I love these inks. I wish they came in full size. I guess they don't because of some reason, but I wish they did. I'm using Aspen Mist for the blue sky. And then when we get to the bottom, I'm going to use tea leaves. I'm being very careful to pull up my little straight line that I'm masking with this paper tape. That way it doesn't disturb my mask as I transition from the sky to the ground. I'm using Ranger stencil brushes or blending brushes to ink blend my background today. Sometimes when you've fussy cut a mask for your image, this image of the dragon actually has very thick lines that make it easier to fussy cut, but I still kind of made some mistakes. So when I was ink blending, a few of the areas around the dragon needed to be touched up. So to do this, I grabbed a micro brush and the same inks that I used to create the background, and I did some micro ink blending in the areas that were still like bright white that needed to be either green or blue. I'm not one to worry about the details like this, but for this, it really did make the image pop a little bit better. I'm using my favorite Inktense pencils by Derwent. I'm also using a blender pen. I have done this a million times before. It's my favorite way to color, actually. I put the darkest or heavy amounts of ink in the darkest areas of the image and then draw it out with the blender pens. It's really nice, and I love the final results. I have a ton of coloring mediums, okay? Alcohol markers, watercolor markers, watercolor pencils, chalk pencils, colored pencils, but the Inktense pencils, they really just stand out to me. They're fun. I also think on a learning to use them scale, it's quite easy, and I think the results are playful and fun and less stress for me. I also colored the little fairy from the Neat and Tangled set and the little puff of fire or smoke or whatever you want it to be from the dragon's mouth. The dragon is stamped directly onto the background of our card panel, but I'm using the coordinating dies of this fairy set to pop up my fairy in front of the dragon. I do wish, kinda, that I colored the dragon black instead of green. I don't want him to look like a dinosaur, but too late. I am using the same jet black ink from Ranger to stamp the sentiment directly onto the card panel. The card panel is then popped up with craft foam and a little bit of tape runner adhesive onto a fog card base. I used foam squares to pop up both the puff of fire and the fairy. I also added, as a finishing touch, a little bit of stickles to my fairy's wings. I believe this is frosted lace. It's stickles, right? Is that correct? I've forgotten.
I hope that you enjoyed making a card with me today. I will link the blog post in the description box below with some more information and more places to find me on social media. Drop me a comment in the comments, and until next time.